Greetings, friends. GS Podcast Episode 9. It's good to be back. I've never been able to stay in the lines, so recently I decided to no longer try. A little bit sloppy and grumpy in the morn. Too much of anything can put me on the floor. I prefer reclusivity over social tasks, and any time spent out talking about my past. I'd rather be spontaneous than follow a set plan. Tell me what to do and you just might feel my wrath. Far away from perfect is where I like to live. The older I get, the less fucks I have to give. The less fucks I have to give. Well, I'm going my own way, I'm blazing a new trail. Sometimes it looks like I'm coming off the rails, but I'm no longer settling for being just okay. No, this time is different, 'cause I'm going all the way. Yes, I'm going all the way. Yes, I'm going all the way. I'm back, baby. Episode 9 dropping at you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. It's all coming down. It's all coming down. The year is getting shorter. We're getting to the end of the year here. The days are getting shorter. And it's good to be back. I had to take a little bit of a break. I had got a lot going on and a lot to share. First and foremost, Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy holidays. Whatever you're celebrating, I wish you blessings, and I wish you a good time with family and friends, whatever you got to do. Hopefully you're off from work. You're taking some time off for yourself. Get outside, do a hike, get a run in, get a workout in, take the family to go do something outside. It's supposed to be nice if you're in the East Coast here. These next few days are going to be really nice. It's actually going to be warm. So I had an opportunity to listen and watch some of these episodes, and I just want to be a little bit more concise and a little bit more to the point. And sometimes I'm not good at that. So that's my mission, is to just be a little bit more to the point here. So I got a lot going on that I want to share. Some people that are listening already know some of this. Maybe some of you don't know any of it. But I am in the process of another huge life transition, and I've still in the middle of the other one, and I've got more of that life transition that's happening in my life right now. So since the last time, I have prepared, listed, and sold this house, the Vailmont. It is no longer going to be my kingdom come December 30th, which is just over a week away. I got very, very fortunate and found some great buyers who are paying cash, which is not a bad thing. It was over what I asked for the house. I'm so happy to pass it on to people that appreciate this house. I bought this house in 2016, moved back here to Jersey, spent the entire 2017 redesigning this house, renovating it, and lived in it for all of 2018. And, of course, this year I've been here for half the year, and I've been gone half the year. And this day was inevitable. I realized that I had to do this back in August for sure, but I've been in denial about it. The truth is that the path that I'm on does not allow me to have a $500,000 house, anymore. That's just not where I'm at. I am going all the way, as that song says. And last year, at about this time, I reminded myself of the possibility of this being a reality. Are you willing to give up the the house? Are you willing to give up your things for this dream, for this new path? And the answer was yes. And I got to tell you, it's one thing to say something, and then it's another thing when that actually shows up and you are in the middle of the thing that you said, yeah, I'll do that. Because it's one thing to say it, and it's another thing to live it out and to do it. And it's been challenging, for sure. I've got a mix of all emotions. Very, very extreme happiness, and just I can't wait to have freedom. And then the other part of me, of course, is extremely sad for leaving this area again and closing this house out and closing out this era. This has been an amazing time in my life. These last 3 years have been some of the most healing, restorative, fun years of my entire life. And coming back to my hometown, living close to my parents, being close to my sister and my nephew and my niece and all my friends that I grew up with, and being close to Manhattan, and also being close to Bear Mountain and beautiful woods. I mean, this is a great place to be. And I'll be back, But my plan right now is I'm closing December 30th. This house will be no longer mine. I'll be staying with some friends and some family for the next week. And then come January 9th, I am out. I'm flying to San Francisco, California to spend some time at my beloved Carr Davis and James Farino's Miramar house in San Francisco, which I'm very excited about. And then I have a wedding in Colorado to go to. And then from there, I'm leaving it pretty free. I've got a rough idea about where I want to go. I will end up in Hawaii for a bit, but there's a big world out there, and I'm not confined to just the United States. So we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. I see myself probably coming back to the New York, New Jersey area come late spring, summertime for sure. Love the summertime in New York. Have family here. Have friends here. This is part of my life. I will be coming back. But ladies and gentlemen, I am a rambling man. I am a rambling soul. I've been this way my whole life. I've probably didn't have the balls to be completely myself until now, which is fine. But I've discovered for me that I am much happier with less stuff. This is the truth for me right now. I am happier with less things, less responsibilities, less attachments, less expenses, and more love, more creativity, more music, more writing, more running, more fitness, more hiking, more traveling, more expanding. I'm just more interested in that. I'm more interested in being free right now. Completely free. So when this is all said and done, I'm going to be completely free. I'm going to literally have nothing. I have sold off over the last month or so. I've sold off or given away 75, if not 80% of the things that I own. If you see, there used to be a big shelf back there, and I have people coming. I list things on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. I got people coming in from all over the place, and I've sold everything. I mean, I've sold candles. I've sold coasters. I've sold lamps, end tables, rugs, shoes, clothing, pillows, sheets. I mean, I've sold everything, and I have a stack of cash going on my mantle right now. Every time I sell something, I put the cash on the mantle. I sold my lawnmower. I sold my weed whacker. I sold the dryer. I sold everything. Old cabinets, old scrap wood, old ladders. I'm turning everything into cash. Everything. And the only thing I'm keeping is my guitar, my records, my stereo system. I'll store all of that at mom and dad's. And I'm going to travel pretty light. I'm going to have my guitar with me. I'm going to have a backpack, and I'm going to have a suitcase that I'll check. And that's it. And I'm going to be free. And I'm going to figure it out because I'm in the middle of that right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm figuring out this path. I'm on it. So I'm going all the way. I got to go deeper into it. This is going to free me up, and it's also going to put some financial resource back into my pocket, and this is going to be good. I'm going to be sustained for a little while. I'm going to have really no expenses, which is very, very exciting. This is something I've always wanted. I've wanted to give myself this freedom. I've been afraid of it. Why wouldn't I be? It's a terrifying thing, having all this freedom. You would think that having freedom is all good, and that's not necessarily true. Having a lot of freedom means that you have to also be very disciplined, and you have to really know yourself. I think the amount of freedom that I have would freak the F out of most people. I know it's freaked me out at times. Because when you have the ability to do anything that you want whenever you want to do it, and there's really nobody in your way. I mean, within reason. I'm not a millionaire, so I can't get on a helicopter and fly to, Florida or whatever. Get on a private plane and fly to Hawaii. But I can pretty much do whatever I want. And that has forced me to design my own discipline and design my own days and design my own work schedule. So I'm more disciplined and I'm more regimented now than I've ever been in my life. This has taken time. It's not always been this way, but that's where I'm kind of at now. I'm at this place where, and I'm not perfect. I miss a day here. I miss a day there. Life happens. But for the most part, I go to bed at the same time. I wake up at the same time. I make my bed in the morning. I do the dishes from the night before. I do a rigorous workout in the morning. I come back. I do a meditation. I read. I write songs. Take care of things around the house. Do open mics and performances at night. And then I start the day over. Now, that varies from day to day. But I've had to design that discipline into my day because there's so many options. It gets crazy. You got to figure it out. I think when you have a job, when you have kids, when you have things to do, that becomes your discipline. That becomes your organization. That becomes, it takes care of itself. You know exactly where you need to be and what you need to do. But when you don't have those things, you have an option. You have a choice. You can be completely unfeathered and undisciplined. But what I think we'll find with that is having no discipline is detrimental to the freedom, because if the freedom is not being utilized to create something amazing or to experience something amazing, then it's a bit of a waste. So I've found that having discipline, having regimen is very important. But what's been cool is that I've been able to make my own. And this is something that I've never been able to do. It's been rainy and snowy here for the last week or two, but for all of the end of mid to the end of November and then into the early December, I've been waking up with the sun, going down with the sun, and waking up with a hike or a jog up at Bear Mountain while the sun is rising. And this has been just one of the most amazing experiences of being up every morning to not only be up while the sun is rising, but to really be out there while the sun is coming up. And that's been magical for me. I love that shit, man. Wake up around 6, get my backpack together, I get some coffee going, and I head up to Bear Mountain. Bear Mountain is a state park in New York State. It's a 28-minute door-to-door drive from my driveway to the parking lot of the the trailhead. And before it was snowing, the trails were all wide open, and there's a couple really nice trails. And they're not too hard, but they're also not too easy, and it's a nice thing to do in the morning. And as I'm doing that hike, the sun is coming up. And I'm kind of rising up the mountain with the sun. and I'm breathing and I'm sweating and I'm working. And by the time I get to the top, the sun is now peaked over the horizon, and I've done a hike, and it's barely 7:15. It's barely 7:30, By the time I get down, it's 8:15. And by the time I'm hydrated and driving back home, it's like 9 o'clock, and I've been up for 3 hours, and I've already accomplished this huge feat physically, and sometimes it's emotionally difficult. There's days where I don't want to do it, so you got to kind of push yourself a little bit. And the days that I'm not doing a hike, I'm doing a run up there. But the bottom line is, when I'm outside with that sun rising, that is it for me, man. That's just, fuck, it's good. It's good. That's kind of where I want to be. That's really where I want to be. So, selling everything I own, and gonna be a roaming nomad for a little while. I'm gonna keep up these podcasts as best I can. Hope to have some friends and some guests on along the way. I'm gonna keep up the music and the writing, and I've got another half dozen songs or so that I'm in the process of writing, and I've got an album called Freedom, which I am working on currently, which are encompassing all the songs that I wrote while I was in Hawaii and while I was in California. And I've performed those songs quite a bit here in Jersey, but I'm working on getting that all onto some album, so that I could share that. And then I'm working on a second album right now, which is basically the time that I've been home in Jersey after my excursion. And I'm still writing songs for that, but I've written probably about half of that album right now. And that will be out at some point as well. And I'll keep you all posted on that stuff. You don't see me on social media that much. It's just, I know and I understand the value of social media. The reality for me is it's just not something that I want to spend time on. So the podcast and the post that I make to show that I have a new episode of the podcast, it's going to kind of be it. Every now and then I'll probably drop something on there, but I don't even have the Instagram app. I deleted the app, so I have to log in to actually get onto Instagram. Or when I'm ready to post something, I'll re-download the app. I don't have the Facebook app. And it's not a knock on it. I understand the value. For me, it just kind of drains my bandwidth a little bit. And I like to stay away from the screens and away from social media as much as I possibly can. And I do check-ins, but that's why you're not seeing me. So thank you for listening to me. I'm going to be on the road again January 9th. I'm hitting it. And that's it, baby. The hair's growing back, as you can see. The beard is coming back, as you can see. I'm feeling great. I got some new running shoes. And I am experiencing some amazing, amazing sunrises. Life is good. Life is really, really good. I feel very, very blessed and grateful to be in this position, about to step into just another level of the journey that I'm on. And, a common question that I get from people, from friends, from whomever, and it's a good question, is, what's your plan, man? What's your plan, dude? What are you doing? Are you just going to... And let me respond to that. Let me clarify. When I graduated college, my first job was working for Abercrombie as a loss prevention agent. I was doing asset protection and loss prevention, apprehending shoplifters, investigating your internal theft, reducing their shrink and their loss through, audits and things like that. I knew nothing about that world. Zero before I got into it. But I got into it, and I liked it enough to keep me curious so that I kept learning, getting better at it, and then I got promoted, and then I got promoted again. And the bottom line is that I was successful there. And then I left that, and I moved to another career and was in finance. And I didn't know anything about finance. I knew a little bit, I guess, but I had to get licensed and learn about all these different financial products and learn how to do that kind of selling. And there was so many things that I had to learn. I came into it with no experience and no information, but eventually kept doing it day after day, week after week. You do it, you get better. If you're curious, if you're enjoying it, if I'm enjoying it, that means I'm going to be more curious about it. I'm going to learn more, and then I'm going to get good at it. I'll be proficient, and then I'll have success. And that's exactly what happened. And then the last career I was in, same exact thing. I didn't know anything about the product that they sold. Nothing. Zero. And over time, you learn a little bit. You apply it every day, a little bit more. A door opens here, and then before you know it, you're successful, and then you're getting promoted, and da-da-da-da. Well, that's no different than anything that we do. So for me, it doesn't matter what it is that I do. If I love it, I'm going to be curious about it. And if I'm curious about it, that means that I'm going to focus on learning everything I can about it. And I'm going to go all the way with it. And that's what I found with my writing and my music and all of the things that I'm doing. I love it so much that I never have to worry about whether or not I'm going to be doing it. Oh, I hope that I have the discipline to write music this week. What are you talking about? Every day. There's things coming at me all day long like a bad meal, whether it's a new song or a poem or a story, all day. And I just trust that that's there, and I give myself the space to make that. And I've been doing it. I've been at it for a year. And in the last 16 months, I've painted 50 paintings. I've performed 32 times. I've written 15 songs. 17 months ago, I had 0 paintings and 0 songs and 0 performances. So, the way I see it is I'm giving myself as much time and space as I need to do what I'm doing. I just need more time. I need more time away from my from 9 to 5 job. I need more space away from big responsibility so that I can just continue to focus in on my crafts and just get more proficient and get better and better and better. Day after day, week after week, month after month, over and over and over again. At some point, it will be moving in a way that sustains itself. And I'm not worried about it because I love what I'm doing. So I don't give a shit if it takes 70 years. Guess what? I'm going to still be doing it. It doesn't matter. If it takes 10 years, it takes 10 years. Then that's how long it takes. Doesn't mean that there aren't moments where I have to coach myself through some discouragement or self-doubt. Of course, all that's there. But I know who I am, and I know how I approach things, and I know how I'm wired. And I've got it set up right now where I'm hitting it dead on the fucking nail right now. It's working. And I'm just going to keep doing this. Much love, my friends. Blessings and love to everybody. Be a little bit nicer to the cashier. Be a little bit nicer to the barista. Like, give them that extra $1 tip. Give the waiter the extra $1 tip. If somebody goes out of the way to help you, go out of the way to help them. Or go out of the way to help them first. If you're selling something in the house, when somebody comes to buy it, give them a deal. Move your stuff along. My things that I've sold, I've got things going to Haiti. I got things going to the Philippines. I had a guy come, him and his wife are building a house on the beach of Mexico. Some of my stuff's going with him. I've got just people have come here and bought things, and they've taken them with them. And now all my stuff is scattered all over the world. I think that's really cool. Be kind. Give things away. You got old clothes in the closet. Take them to a shelter. Like, whatever excess you got, shave it. Take it. You don't need it. I guarantee you. Once you start seeing this shit walking out your door, you're like, oh, I didn't need that. Just let it go. Just let it go. Blessings and love all. Thank you for listening. I'll see you soon on the next episode. Peace.